welcome to another episode of Haunt Talk. In today's episode, we're going to be reviewing Haunted Hills Hayride, and this is in North Versailles, PA. It's like outside of Pittsburgh. It's probably like 30 minutes outside of Pittsburgh, something like that.
About that.
This is our first time at this one. It is a hayride and trail combo. I believe the hayride's kind of like I think where they started, because they've been doing this for a while. And it is a very creepy location. Like all of PA is just a little creepy.
Yeah, I mean,
it is in the hills.
It is in the hills.
Like, it's called Haunted Hills, and it is in the hills. Most of the attraction is like on the side of a hill.
Yeah, it's kind of scary and steep. Like, the trail is called Valley of Darkness, and it's for a reason. You're in like a valley.
Valley of Darkness.
I had issues getting out of said valley because it was so steep. Thank you to the nameless ghoul that actually held my hand and led me up the hill.
Yeah.
We literally, like, we turned and it was like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
It was kind of scary because it was dark and all of a sudden you see this light.
Pulling into this place, I really liked it, because like when we pulled in, I'm just like, it has like that old school, like, I don't want to, and I'm not saying this in an offensive way at all, but kind of rugged, and like the opening wasn't like this professional industrial like haunted house. It was like an old school, like a family type of thing that's doing it because they want to do it. And I like, when you pull, like, they had bonfires outside.
Right. They had like a little snack area and stuff like that. Yeah, it was very family friendly, I guess you would say. Family orientated. Like,
yeah.
You felt like you just like pulled into somebody's yard and they like were like, oh, hey, come check out our haunted house.
Right. That's how it felt like to begin with, but definitely more professional when you get into it, which I guess we might as well just start on. So starting off then with sets and props, we'll talk about the hayride first, and then we'll move into the Valley of Darkness. So the hayride had quite a few scenes. There really wasn't almost any dead space in this thing. They packed a lot in there. You get to see things like, there's like a hillbilly village with people that shoot guns.
Oh, gosh. They were so loud.
Yeah, my ears rang for a while, and they shot the blanks right behind this kid's head. Probably shouldn't be shooting it that close to people, because that's definitely not good for your ear. So, minor complaint there. Scared the crap out of everyone, because it's what happens when people fire 3 guns around you. Blanks.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a cool little scene. They had a pirate ship scene, I think, was on there.
Yeah, there was a pirate ship scene. There was like an industrial, like, warehouse looking scene.
Towards the end, yeah. There's like a witch's...
Yeah, like a witch's coven kind of area.
Thing that was there.
I think there was like a cemetery area as well.
I do believe so, yes, I think.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's a lot of scenes.
And lots of like scarecrows and odd things like out in the woods. I noticed one bit was just a bunch of doors out in the woods.
Oh yeah, nothing came of it though.
It was kind of neat, and I would hope to see, like, I was hoping there would be people behind the doors, like, just popping out and stuff. It was kind of creepy because it kind of made you unnerving because you're like, what's behind these doors, you know?
But it's hard to tell if, like, there just wasn't people at the time we were there, and if there usually is. That's a good thing if you go there or been there before and you've seen this scene. Do they usually have people come out? Because nothing happened when we went there. But there were a fair amount of actors back in the woods. But
there were a lot of actors because they were all over the place.
Yeah, there's quite a few cool scenes. And then the Valley of Darkness. For one, the trail is very dark.
Yes.
There's not a lot of lighting, at least in between the scenes. There are scenes, and those do have a little more lighting in them. But it was less scenes that were back there, and more almost, it kind of felt like a haunted obstacle course almost. Well, because, there was like all these different, there was like, I think 3 different things that they made back there that kind of made you kind of have to crouch down. It would get real thin.
Oh, yeah, that pallet fortress that they built was just,
they had a couple of them.
I mean, I didn't have to duck because I'm already short.
I had to duck. I mean, it's not like you had to crawl, but you did have to, like, it definitely made you feel claustrophobic. Like,
yeah, it was it definitely not for a fluffy person like myself. I did have to squeeze in a few spots because, you know, things.
They made you walk through a school bus.
Yeah, the school bus was interesting. There wasn't anybody on there, though, which was kind of like...
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely supposed to be.
They were playing a music video on a bunch of screens and stuff, and, I mean... There
was an electrocution chair, which unfortunately malfunctioned when we were there, and we didn't get to see it, but we'll talk more on actors, but they did play it off at least as best they could because it was kind of awkward. But but yeah, the scene, like I said, it was less scenes and more of, like I said, these like weird like things you had to navigate through, which I actually kind of thought was unique and it was kind of cool. Yeah. Well, for sets and props, we gave them an 8.5 though. There was quite a bit of stuff. There wasn't much dead space at all. It was pretty good. I would have liked to see a little more lighting on some of the things, I guess. Maybe a little more detail on some of the hayride scenes at least.
Yeah.
Because there are some things that were cool, but then like they almost looked unfinished at times. That would be like the one complaint I would say, and that's why it's an 8.5 and not higher. I mean, 8.5, I mean, it's still really good, but that would be like the one complaint that I would have.
So our next category is actors. There were quite a few that stood out. Most notably was a queue line actor that also ended up being on the trail. We're just going to call him Poop because that's what was written on his chest.
Yeah.
He was really creepy. He had a really weird, like a gravelly voice.
If you've seen the movie Us, he sounded like those people.
Yeah, he sounded like the Tethered. And he had like a little baby doll. And he just gets really close and uncomfortable with you and stuff. And he actually, like, somehow, and I don't know if it was on purpose or what, but he, like, found him in the trail and, like, actually was, like, kind of tormenting him at one point. We were at, like,
for sure.
Like a wire fence maze area. And he just was, like, super up close and uncomfortably harassing him, and it was actually pretty fun to watch him squirm. It was kind of interesting, but yeah, he was a highlight for sure.
Because he asked me if I wanted to play with his dolly when I was in the queue line and all this. Well, he said I think he asked me if I wanted to be alone with his dolly for 10 minutes, like or something. You could do it. It was really weird. And then he told me he'd see me later, and then he pops up behind the thing and he's just like, "I told you I'd see you later," and that horrible voice that he was doing, and I'm like, "Oh God." And he kept calling me baby. He told me if I didn't hurry up, he was going to lick my ears and all this stuff. And, like, I wasn't, like, running because it's a trail. And he's like, "Oh, by all the faster you're moving, it looks like you want to take me up on my offer." And I'm like, oh, my God. He was a creep. It was really good, though. He was definitely my favorite of all of them. He's freaking creepy.
Our only complaint about the actors was, like, we couldn't hear them on the hayride.
Yeah, and we don't know if, like, it's because their microphones weren't working, but this happened in, like, 3 different scenes.
Yeah.
Because there was, like, I think it might have been the hillbilly scene. They got on the tractor and, like, talking to people. Yeah, after they shoot their guns, they're, like, talking to people. But, like, the wagon's huge.
Yeah.
Very huge wagon. Like, they were down there, and, like, literally no one came up to our scene, up to us. And since they had no mics or anything on in this scene, like, you couldn't hear anything, so it was just sitting in silence for a couple of minutes. And it was just kind of, like, it kind of got awkward. We were just kind of like, oh, okay. And the witch is kind of the same thing. Like, no one could hear him. But then at the end, one of them, like, spoke through a microphone. We could all hear him at the very end. So I'm like, what? And then there was, like, a scene later where we could hear the actor because he had a microphone on. He could talk to everyone. And that guy was great.
Yeah, because he actually hopped on the wagon and he did scare the crap out of a lot of people. It was kind of fun.
Yeah, well, because he, was, like, running down the middle, swinging it around his head. And I'm like, how is he not hitting people? And he, like, made the one kid get up and, like, dance, and then had everyone point and make fun of him. It was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, he called us all bullies. And
he's like, come on, you know you want to do it, you bullies. And, like, it was funny. But yeah, actors were really good. Just like I said, some of the scenes were weird because you couldn't hear it. It was like this awkward, like, silence, and there needed to be more of them in some spots.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, there was little dead spots, especially in the trail. There's, like, it seemed like a sort of a lack in certain areas, but the ones that were there for the most part were really good. Just couldn't hear them at all. So we gave actors an 8.
Yes.
So next we're going to talk about scare factor. This is more of a family-oriented haunt, and it is nice to see because, like, I know in the queue line there was, like, children that were kind of terrified, and the monsters, I wouldn't say broke character, but they would do, like, things like give them a high five, give them a fist bump, stuff like that to the children. And then when they got to us, like the adults, then it was all, like, which is nice. But that being said, the intensity for the scares isn't going to be crazy. This actually was a little more intense than I thought it would be going into it, knowing what the little I knew about it and reading stuff online. Because people kind of, what I read on Facebook and stuff, they chalked it up to almost be just like a kid haunt, and it's not. Family friendly, I'd say yes, because they will accommodate, but they are still going to try and scare you, and, like, there are special effects, like I said, I mean, like the guns being shot off, and there's some freaky stuff. That, especially the trail. I think the Hayride's definitely
better, kid-friendly.
Yeah, definitely kid-friendly. The trail, use your own discretion. Just because, I mean, just the areas you walk through is a little bit freaky, let alone the actors.
Yeah.
Where, you know, I mean, the Hayrides in general are always a little more cinematic than they are scary. Just in general, that's just how they are. It's really hard to scare an entire group of people. I mean, they did have things like they threw that barrel that's on a rope.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It looks like it's going to hit you. That'll startle you. The gunshots, as we've said a couple of times. The chainsaw guy. There's a lot of chainsaws, actually.
Yeah.
So if your kid actually is terrified of chainsaws, maybe don't bring the kid today. Because oh my God, there's a lot of chainsaws. Which actually would have freaked me out when I was a kid because I was terrified of chainsaws when I was a kid. Like, I loved haunted stuff even when I was a wee tot, but chainsaws freaked me out. So that would have scared me then. Now I'm just like, yeah.
Yay.
Do whatever you want, Daddy. What?
Chainsaws.
Anyways.
Yay.
I'm just thinking of all the places like that are allowed to touch you and they just love to put it between your legs. The freaking weirdos.
God.
Not going to happen here, though. Wells, I mean, the freaking prison in PA. There's lots of places. They just love putting it in places where where a chainsaw should never go. Yeah. Anyways,
so for scare factor, we did give them a 7.5 because again, it's more of a family-orientated place. So you might not get too scared, but you're definitely going to get entertained for sure.
Right, exactly. And I would kind of say, like, we're lumping it all together, but if I were to rate the two attractions individually, the Hayride's like maybe a 6 as a scare, and the trail might be an 8, so you average at a 7.5.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Actually, the average would be 7. But we gave it 7.5. Anyways. Yeah, your next one.
All right, so next we move on to value. The for both of the attractions, it was $20. The Hayride took about 25 minutes to go through, and the trail was about 20 minutes as well.
Around that, yep. Especially, it could be even longer if you get lost in that maze.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a pretty good value.
Yeah, I'd say very comparable to other attractions, maybe even a little bit better. I think that the value's pretty good. You get quite a bit of bang for your buck. Yeah, I mean, the fact they have, like, the fires and stuff like that out there and stuff.
So we did give them a 9 for value.
Yeah, definitely think it's $20 is very reasonable, especially as much as some haunts are charging right now. So, I mean, 30 to 45 minutes of entertainment for $20 is good. Of course, that brings us to the overall score for the attraction. We're giving it an 8.5. I was very pleased with the place. Like I said, it's very old school, which I like. I love haunted hayrides. I always have a soft spot. We didn't get to go to enough of them last year. Yeah. So we're trying to hit up more this year. We wanted to go to another one, but they stopped selling tickets at 10, and we didn't get out of this place till a little after 9, and it was an hour away. So we'll see if we get there. I want to do more hayrides. They said they never really freaked me out that much, but, like, good hayrides just so much fun.
Yeah.
It's like creepy little ride through the woods at night. It was a really nice night when we went to. And this place is, too. Like, it's an actual hayride. You're not on seats. There's just hay thrown on the ground. You just flop your butt down in the hay. And also the actors, we didn't say before, because some don't do this, but the actors do get on the wagon with you in this one. Which also does make it a little more intense, that they actually will get up there and interact with you and stuff like that. But I love this old school thing, and it is in the woods. Like, it is deep, dark in the woods.
Right.
So.
Yeah, like, they didn't start the wagons until it got dark, but they probably could have.
Yeah, because the woods were so dark,
like, you looked, like, they had an entranceway, like a facade and stuff like that, but you looked in there and you were like, it's dark in there. Like, they could have started it if they wanted to, because it was dark. But, yeah, it definitely was a fun time.
Yep. If you're in the area, for sure check it out, because there's other things that are close to it as well. I think this one was, close to Demon House and Castle Blood and that, which we plan on going to. Well, I don't know, this might be 40 minutes away, but there's also, like, 100 Acre Manor. There's just, like, a million up in the PA area. Yeah. You'll just go to it. It's fun. And that does it for this But that does it for this review. Make sure you like the video. You subscribe to us on YouTube. Also check our Facebook out and like there, because we are going to be doing a couple of giveaways this year, so make sure you keep an eye out on that on the Facebook, where we, post regularly during the haunt season and stuff like that. We'll see you guys in the next one.
That's all, folks.